Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Depending on when you're watching this, Dragonflight is right around the corner or already here. I've been playing a Dracthyr Evoker since the second phase of the pre-patch, and I have really enjoyed it. So much so that I have decided to make it my main for this expansion. And in this video, I'm going to go over the top reasons why. And maybe, just maybe, it'll give you the push you need to give this race and class combo a try. Now, if you're watching this video and you find yourself thinking, hey, this is pretty good, I invite you to subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new content. All right, let's get into it. All right, reason number one is you're a dragon, and that's it. That's the video. No, I'm just kidding. Reason number one, mobility. You have great mobility as a Dracthyr Evoker. You have some racials and abilities that help you get around the playing field much faster and easier than others. Some of those abilities include Soar, allowing you to launch yourself up into the sky and soar across the sky, allowing you to get to places much quicker than flying. Now, you are limited in the distance you can go. There's a couple abilities you can use to increase the amount of distance, but for the most part, for longer distances, flying is going to be still the go-to thing. But Soar is really going to come in handy, especially when you're questing, being able to do a small group of quests in one area, then soar back over to the quest giver to turn them in. Another ability that they have that's really useful is Hover. Hover pushes you forward a short distance and you hover over the ground. Man, they really nailed the names on these. You hover over the ground and your speed is increased by 30%. In addition to that, you have some abilities that you can use while hovering. This is similar to Spirit Walker's Grace, I think that's what it's called, that shamans have. And this really comes in handy during high movement raid encounters. That way you're not rendered completely useless, as you can use some abilities on the move. This also helps if there's some AoE elements on the ground that you need to avoid, because this ability does give you a push forward. So I can see this also being super helpful in PvP. Really good flag carriers now that I think about it. As a Dracthyr Evoker, you also have access to an ability called Rescue. This allows you to fly to a location and pick up an ally as you go. So this is really good to pull an enemy out of fire, out of a dangerous situation, or to carry your flag carrier in PvP. I can see this one getting nerfed for sure in PvP. This is very similar to the pull ability that priests have. So now, priests aren't the only ones who can get you out of a sticky situation. The next ability up on the list is Glide. This is identical to Demon Hunters. If you are falling or if you jump from a high point, you can expand your wings and glide safely down to the ground. Now, this is really helpful to move around really fast if you're jumping from one high location to a obviously lower location. And even while you're just running on the ground, it's kind of feels like a slight speed boost. I don't know if that's like a kind of placebo effect thing or if that's actually true, but it does give you that. So if you need a quick movement burst, then you can use Glide on the ground as well. And to top it all off, Evokers have a buff called Blessing of the Bronze. Blessing of the Bronze, you weave the threads of time, reducing the cooldown of a major movement ability for all party and raid members by 15% for 1 hour. So not only do you have a lot of mobility with this class, you have an ability that lowers the cooldown for a major movement ability. So as I mentioned before, a really mobile class. I would even go as far to say they're up there with monks and druids. Reason number two, aesthetics. The look and feel of our abilities are second only to Shaman. Personally, Shaman have the best looking abilities. I love my Pandaren Shaman. The fire, the lightning, the frost, all of it. But Dracthyr Evoker have quite a few spells that look really cool too. I can't go over all of them, but I will point out the ones that I like the most. One being Deep Breath. The first one being Deep Breath. And I think a lot of people will think this is pretty badass ability as well. It's very similar to Breath of Sindragosa, except you are Sindragosa. You leap up into the air, fly to a certain location, and rain down fire and terror on your enemies. It looks really, really cool. It does a lot of damage, and if you need a quick escape to get out of a bad situation, it also comes in handy. So this one actually ties back into that mobility thing that I was talking about earlier. Disintegrate is another really cool ability. This is similar to the eye beam that demon hunters have, except this is a dragon beam. It's a really cool blue beam that goes from your mouth and melts the faces of your enemies. It's really funny. During the pre-patch event, you had a shit ton of Dracthyrs trying to take down the elemental lords that popped up, and you had like 50 disintegrates going at one time. It was a sight to see for sure. Another really cool ability is Landslide. This is similar to the Shaman Sundering, except this ability doesn't do any damage, but it does root enemies in place. The view of the rocks spewing out from the side and then popping up on the enemy's legs is really cool. And then last but not least, the Fire Breath. Fire Breath is a very unique ability. It's one of the new empowered abilities that we have in the game. And yeah, you just spread a massive wave of fire, Dracthyr style. If you are a Preservation Evoker, it's a massive cone of healing, and it just looks sweet. And what's unique about all of the abilities that Evokers have is that they correspond to the different Dragonflights. So you have black abilities, bronze abilities, red, blue, and green. My personal favorites are the bronze abilities. I find that I like the bronze Dragonflight the best, and that's pretty much the role I try to take on during this expansion, playing as a Dracthyr Evoker. And I really like the sound design and the art behind the bronze spells. They really kind of give you that feel of time travel, time rewinding kind of deal. I can't even explain it. But they're really cool abilities, and yeah, the aesthetics of this class is well done. Reason number 3, 2 forms. Now, I know this isn't unique to Dracthyr. Most popular, the druids have multiple forms, including their humanoid form, and shaman can even turn into a sort of ghost wolf or ghost animal travel form. But what I think Dracthyr does different and better is that it makes it useful to be in either form. Obviously, you have to be in Dracthyr to do certain abilities, but when you switch to your Visage form, it increases the health regeneration rate of you and your party. It gives you a reason to switch back to your Visage form. That synergy and that relation is what make it unique, I think, from other classes. Also, being able to use certain abilities in Visage form without having to change into a Dracthyr. For example, Living Flame. You can cast Living Flame in either form, and Glide. You can glide in either form, and if you glide in your Visage form, it's kind of like looks like a slow fall that priests have, but without the angelic colors to it. And yeah, it's hard to explain, but there's just some sort of synergy between the two that I think they did really well. And there's even an option to toggle that when you leave combat or when you land after you soar, you immediately turn back into Visage form. So that way you can take full benefit of being in Visage form without having to remember, oh wait, I have to switch back to gain the regeneration buff. I really like how they handled the 2 forms here. And reason number 4, customization options. There are so many options for you to customize your Dracthyr and make your character unique. And not only is it just your Dracthyr, but you also can customize your Visage form, hair color, jewelry, if you have spikes, if you have fins, the shape of your tail, jewelry on your rings, your draconic markings, the color of your markings. I mean, they really went into depth here, and it's really cool. It'd take a while to go over all of them, and I'm sure there's some great YouTube videos that already break that down. But my hope here is that they take what they did with the Dracthyr and expand that to other races as well, because I'm impressed with what they did. And I gotta say, I probably spent 40 minutes going through all of those options and creating my Dracthyr. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it gave you the push you needed to go ahead and try out the Dracthyr Evoker. And I look forward to seeing you in the Dragon Isles. If you like this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I post more videos in the future. Thank you so much again. This is JM signing out. Peace.